Here and now, I'm in the fire and above my head. Oh, 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 but when under the pressure, don't know what'll be left. Oh, 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 but it's here in the ashes. I'm finding treasure. He's making diamonds, making diamonds out of glass. He is refining his shining. He's making diamonds out of us. I'll surrender to the power being caused by love. Oh, 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 till the beauty that was hidden isn't covered up. Oh, 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 it's not what I hoped for. It's something much better. He's making diamonds, making diamonds out of glass. He is refining his timing. He's making diamonds out of us. The joy of the Lord will be my strength. The pressure is on. He's making diamonds. For the joy of the Lord will be my strength. When the pressure is on, he's making diamonds. For the joy of the Lord, it will be my strength. When the pressure is on, he's making diamonds, making the diamonds out of God. Oh, he's refining in his timing. He's making diamonds out of us. He's making diamonds, making the diamonds out of us. He is refining in his timing. He's making diamonds out of us. Making diamonds out of us. We are not ashamed. Oh, we are not ashamed of the gospel. The truth we will proclaim. We are committed and we choose to tell the world the good news, the gospel. We are not ashamed. We are not ashamed. No, we are not ashamed of the gospel. The truth we will proclaim. We are committed and we choose to tell the world the good news, the gospel. We are not ashamed. We've made a commitment to proclaim it every day, shouting from the mountain that Jesus is the way. He gave the commission, and now it's up to you and me. It's time to declare it. Somebody needs to share it, for it's the truth that can set us free. That's why we are not ashamed. Oh, we are not ashamed of the gospel. The truth we will proclaim. We are committed and we choose to tell the world the good news, the gospel. We are not ashamed. We will go and tell it everywhere. A word of truth, we will gladly share the gospel. was meant to be. All this pain, all this suffering, there's a better place waiting for me in heaven. Every tear will be wiped away, every sorrow and sin erased. We'll dance on seas of amazing grace in heaven, in heaven. I'm going home where the streets are golden, every chain is broken. Oh, I wanna go. Oh, I wanna go home where every fear is gone. I'm in your open arms where I belong. Oh, lay down my burdens, I lay down my past. I run to Jesus, no turning back. Thank God Almighty, I'll be free at last. In heaven, in heaven. I'm going home where the streets are golden, every chain is broken. Oh, I wanna go. Oh, I wanna go home where every fear is gone. I'm in your open arms where I belong. Blinded eyes will finally see, the dead will rise on the shores of eternity. The trump will sound, the angels will sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I am going home where the streets are golden, every chain is broken. Oh, I wanna go. Oh, I wanna go home where every fear is gone. I'm in your open arms where I belong. Where I belong. I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm on my way home. I'm going home.
God, I know you have placed this message in my heart, one that I have not been able to shake for months. You did it in the generations of old with all the biblical heroes that seem so far away, and I know that you want to do it again with us in this generation. So I ask and pray, Lord God, that even though many of our churches are growing old, and some of our churches are growing obsolete, and some of our congregations have literally withered away at the vine, we ask and pray that you give us vibrancy, the vitality that only new generations can bring. Allow us to see what you're doing in our generation. I pray that you hide me behind the cross, and that the words that I speak be yours and not mine. We ask and pray these things in your name. Amen. All right, so why do I feel so good? Well, the reason is that I feel alive. And I know you guys are probably thinking like, well, obviously you're alive, you're breathing, you're talking, so big shocker, Blair. But that's not what I'm referring to. Have you guys ever had those moments in life where you feel like you're just going through the motions, the days are hazy, and the days just kind of go by, you're not really living? That was me for many, many, many years. I'm going to share a story with you from the Bible that I really relate to. We're going to go to John chapter 4. Bear with me because I'm going to read the whole thing, because I think that sometimes we take for granted the old stories that we used to read. And I think that you can grab a new lesson from reading it over again. So, John chapter 4, I'm reading from the New Living Translation because I need English in my life, and the New King James Version does not work for me. I need it like idiot-proof for me because I can't do it. So, John chapter 4, verse 5 says, John chapter 4, verse 5, eventually he came to the Samaritan village of Sychar, near the field that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired from the long walk, sat wearily beside the well about noontime. Soon, a Samaritan woman came to draw water, and Jesus said to her, "Please, give me a drink." He was alone at the time because his disciples had gone into the village to buy some food. The woman was surprised, for Jews refused to have anything to do with Samaritans. She said to Jesus, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. Why are you asking me for a drink?" Jesus replied, "If you only knew the gift God has for you and who you are speaking to, you would ask me, and I would give you living water. But sir, you don't have a rope or a bucket." She said, "And this well is very deep. Where would you get this living water? And besides, do you think you're greater than our ancestors Jacob, who gave us this well? How can you offer better water than he and his sons and his animals enjoy?" Jesus replied, "Anyone who drinks this water will soon become thirsty again. But those who drink the water I give will never be thirsty again. It becomes a fresh, bubbling spring within them, giving them eternal life." "Please, sir," the woman said, "give me this water. Then I'll never be thirsty again, and I won't have to come here to get water. Go and get your husband." Jesus told her, "I don't have a husband," the woman replied. Jesus said, "You're right. You don't have a husband, for you have had 5 husbands, and you aren't even married to the man you're living with now. You certainly spoke the truth." So, how many of you guys have a Facebook page? Raise your hand. All right, I figured a lot of you did. Have you guys ever received notifications that look like this, kind of? It says, "on this day," and then it gives you like a little memory of something you posted about so many years ago on that same day. All right, how many of you have taken the time to actually read the things you used to share? Okay, well, I'm going to let you guys share with some memories that I came across the other day on my Facebook. I'm going to read them out loud, and they're really embarrassing, but I have a point to this. So, October 18th, 2013. I woke up before my alarm. I already know that today is going to be no bueno. October 18th, 2008. I can't pass a song on Rock Band. I've been trying for 3 weeks, and I always fail right at the end. Also that same day, Blair Abascal is awake. AIM, AOL Instant Messengers, for those young people that don't know what that is. Aid me. If I don't answer, text or call me, save me. How sad is that? Qué pena. You know what I discovered when I keep reading these memories? Is that I was exactly like that woman at the well. I would post and post and post about anything that came to my mind, just to see who would respond. It was like a cry for attention. Every couple of minutes, I was back on my phone just refreshing the page to see if anyone liked or replied to my status. And if they didn't, I would post something else. And even when that one person I was waiting for to respond actually responded to me, I still wasn't satisfied. So I kept posting more and more and more. It was like a vicious cycle. But let me tell you, when I finally drank the water that Jesus offers everyone, I was no longer thirsty. I no longer had the need to drink from the well of posting nonsense to see who was paying attention to me. The water that Jesus offers everyone again is just so refreshing, and I don't feel thirsty anymore. Go ahead, y'all are welcome to follow me on Facebook. You'll see that I don't post any nonsense like that anymore. But having that firsthand experience with God is what brought me back to life, as cliche as that sounds. And that's not why I'm here, and that's why I am here today, because I want you all to experience what I had experienced. Can I be honest with you guys? Because I have a lot of honest points in my thing, and I think that honesty is the best tool, so don't shoot the messenger. Thank you. So sometimes I feel like I have an advantage that I didn't grow up in the church. I was not raised an Adventist. I wasn't raised anything really. But before you guys get offended, let me explain why I say that. Not being raised in the church has granted me no other way to be part of this whole journey, if not by having that hands-on experience and encounter and seeing just how powerful God really is for myself. I know that Pastor Lafitte and Pastor Nelson and many pastors that we listen to have drilled in our brains over and over again that the church is lacking young people. They have shared some shocking statistics about the Adventist church and where it is now, and really it's pretty scary. But I know that us as humans, we can listen to all these statistics and they're shocking at the moment, but I know that we're visual people, and so I want you guys to see something. Have you all ever stopped and really looked around this church? Like for real, have you looked around? Look around right now. Find the young people for yourself. Where are they? Where are the young people? I'm going to make it a little bit easier for I see you waving, Marta. Young at heart, girl. Young at heart, but I love you. Let me make it a little easier for you guys. Okay. Don't get scared when I tell you to come up here. I'm not going to make you talk or anything like that. But any members of this church that are between the ages of 13 and 35, if you can please come up here to the stage. Please. I just want to show the church something. You ain't got to say nothing, so don't worry. I'm not going to make you guys say anything. I promise. I know sometimes I call people out, but I'm not going to do that. So the reason I called them up is because I really want you guys to see the reality of the situation. This is it. This is all we've got. Now before you guys start thinking, well, a lot of people go to the first service and blah, blah, blah. Relax. I was at the first service today, and I took the opportunity to take a picture when Pam called the young people up to the stage. So here's a picture from the first service. Those are the young people that go to the first service. Now, my mom is the church clerk, so she's the numbers lady when it comes to talking about how many members we have in the church. So, Mother Dearest, how many members in total, young and old, do we have in this church? 905. Okay, so we have 905 members in this church. And we have how many young members here? Let me count you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 young members in our engaged service. And I counted, and I know it's really hard to see, but I counted. There was 30 young members in Elevate. So add that number together. Out of 905, do you guys see where I'm getting at? Nod with me, remember. Nod with me so I know you understand. Thank you guys, you can be seated. That wasn't so scary, was it? All right, church fam, so what happened? Where'd all the young people go? Why aren't they coming here? Where did we go wrong? All right, how many of you have ever seen the Olympics? Raise your hand. If you have not seen the Olympics, I suggest you jump on Google and figure out what that is. But anyways, I love watching the Olympics. If you know me, y'all know that gymnastics is my thing. I stalk that sucker like it's nobody's business. When it's Olympic gymnastics time, my mom knows that that TV is mine. But I also find a lot of other sports fascinating. So I like diving, I think it's pretty cool. And I like volleyball, but not just any volleyball, it has to be beach volleyball. And I actually find some things from track and field pretty interesting. There's this one particular race that has me like on edge. It gives me like anxiety and I keep cheering them on. So it's called the 4x400 relay. Do you guys know the secret to winning that relay? Anybody know it? I'll give you one hint. It has very little to do with how fast they run because everybody in that race is really fast. The answer is in today's sermon. Passing the baton. This is where the race is won. The baton is this little pipe-looking thing. It's a really lightweight. I think it's made of aluminum. I'm not sure. If you want to figure that out, Google it. That's okay. As you're watching these people literally flying down the track, there is this little window of opportunity where one individual has their hand placed, ready to pick up the baton, and the other person is charging at them full speed. Then the second person has to start taking strides forward, and at the right moment, the first runner will pass the baton, and the race continues. This point of the race has many different aspects, and I know I'm kind of reiterating what I just said, but I need you guys to focus on each and every little piece of this. So the first runner is approaching the second runner for the exchange. They're going full speed. They don't slow down at all. In fact, just as they're reaching the second runner takes off, and the first runner must continue running with the second runner in order for the pass to be a success. It doesn't end there. Once the baton reaches the second runner, the first runner must let go for the race to continue, and for the second runner to complete the sequence with the third runner, and so on and so forth. All right, Blair, so what's your point? My point is this. This is where we're failing as a church. This right here, this crucial passing of the baton from one generation to the next. This is us today. This is us, church, and I'm not just pointing fingers at you guys, it's me too. We are so busy trying to run as fast as we can that we forget the most crucial moment, that transition from one person to the next. And right now, our church is more like a game of tag, where one of us is temporarily it. And once you tag somebody else, we don't keep going. Instead, we just leave that other person as it. Right? So, why aren't there young people in the church? I'm not referring to the young people that don't know God, because honestly, I was one of those people, and if you want to know the secret to reach them, they're not afraid of God. They actually believe in something, that they know that there's something out there. What they're afraid of is change and being different. Sound familiar? I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. But I'm focusing on the young people that were in the church. Your answer, my friends, for this is that we're not investing anything on what is to come. For those young people who are currently thinking to themselves, yeah, girl, preach, you tell them. I'm not sorry to tell you, but you guys are also at fault. It's not just the older people, it's you guys too. Do you know how many people have come up to me and told me that there's young members of this church that they feel left out, that they have no friends, they just feel awkward here? Well, my response to that is, where are you when my team and I plan our outings and we go to dinner together and I plan like bowling nights and things like that? Where are you guys? Where are you on every last Wednesday of the month where we do pause and we create an atmosphere that's specifically just for you guys? No offense to the young at heart, but yes. Where are you guys when it comes to that? The opportunities are there for you guys to make friends, to feel like you're part of something. They're all there. It's up to you to take that step. We're going to go over a story really quick in the Bible. I'm going to remind you about when Peter walked on water. It's Matthew chapter 14. It'll be really quick, I promise. But the message behind it is really deep, so please follow along with me. Meanwhile, the disciples were in trouble far away from land, for a strong wind had risen, and they were fighting heavy waves. About 3 o'clock in the morning, Jesus came toward them, walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!" But Jesus spoke to them at once. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Take courage, I am here." Then Peter called to him, "Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you, walking on the water." "Yes, come," Jesus said. So Peter went over the side of the boat and walked on the water towards Jesus. But when he saw the strong wind and the waves, he was terrified and began to sink. "Save me, Lord," he shouted. Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed him. So I have a question for you guys. Did Jesus go up to Peter and grab him by the hand and help him walk across the water? Yes? No? No, he didn't. Read verse 29. Go back, Jackie. 29. "Yes, come," Jesus said. So Peter went over the side of the boat and walked on the water towards Jesus. At no point does it say that Jesus went up to Peter, grabbed him by the hand, and helped him walk across the water. It's the same concept. If you want something, you need to take the initiative. You want friends? You want to be more involved in church? You want to feel like you're part of something? You can't just sit around coming to church every Saturday and expecting to be on this spiritual high. I'm sorry, you guys already know what happens on Sabbath. Yeah, you come to church, we sing, we hear a sermon, but trust me, you're missing out on what it means to be involved and being part of something. I went off my skit, sorry. Make it a point to step out of your comfort zone and into the waves of the ocean to meet new people, because you need to follow God for yourself, but you can't follow him by yourself. You know why I feel like I'm alive today? Because I took the baton when it was passed to me. And I took it and I kept running with it. And I'm still running with it today. And I'm going to keep running with it, as I also have to pass the baton at some point. And after that, I'm going to keep running. Because if you haven't realized it yet, the race does not end until the Lord himself says it does. Honestly, I do sympathize with you guys, because I start to wonder again, why aren't the young people coming out to these events that me and my team put together? Why doesn't anyone want to get involved in church? Like, I don't see it. But I'm going to be as honest as possible with you guys. Again, don't shoot the messenger, but it needs to be said. Could it be that you have never truly experienced what God can do? In the words of our dear old Pastor Lafitte, just a thought. But really, have you truly experienced what God can do for you? I ask that because Christianity is a relationship. When you start talking or dating someone, you don't necessarily have to make time for them. Somehow you're willing to and able to drop everything that needs to be done, and they become your number one priority. And the best part is that it doesn't even feel like work. It's never a burden on you, because all you want to do is spend as much time as possible with that person. Not only do you want to spend time with them, but if they ask you for a favor, you'll get it done in a heartbeat. Is that how your relationship is with God right now? If it's not, that's what this week is all about. Unplug, reset, connect. We're investing a whole week on you. All of you, young, old, tall, short, whatever you are, This entire week is for everyone. We're providing you guys with many opportunities to experience God at first hand. I'm alive today because I have experienced firsthand what God has done in my life. And I want you all to be able to have that experience too, because it will change you. This week, we're not concerned about how many people we get to come out to this event. No, we want you to experience that refreshing water that for yourself. I can tell you how good it is, but you're never going to know until you try it for yourself. And trust me, if he can do it for me, he can do it for you. The only thing that's holding you back is yourself. Church, listen to me. Please, Linda, listen to me. All of you, next slide, Jackie. All of you together are Christ's body, and each of you is part of it. That's 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 27. We all have one purpose here, to expand God's kingdom. It's not about being too young or too old. Why are we compartmentalizing ourselves into generations? Baby boomers, millennials, Gen X. I don't know if I did that in order, but whatever. Labels create limits. If you're alive today, I am telling you, listen to me. You are part of this generation. Thanks, girl. You see, I like that. You talk with me so I know I'm doing something right. Don't let anyone think less of you because you are young. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, in your love, your faith, and your purity. Why is this such an important concept to embrace? Because God knew the impact the younger generations would have on others, and he used it to his advantage. Let's go on a little journey through the Bible just to see how God has used the younger generations in powerful ways. Whenever you look at images of the Last Supper, or you read any biblical stories, or you think about where the Adventist church came from, I don't know about you, but I think of like older people, like white hair, maybe bald, with a beard, like old. I think of people that are on their third and second, fourth AARP subscription invoice, like, I don't know. But do any of you remember the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? I think of them as men, like men. They stood up to a king. I think of them as older men, but in actuality, if the biblical record is correct, next slide, okay, 14. They're around 14 years old. Are there any 14-year-olds in here today? No? No? Pam, you want to pretend to be 14? Come here. Pam's going to pretend to be 14. All right, so we have Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego right here, who stood up to King Nebuchadnezzar. All right, Queen Esther, this courageous young woman who held the entire fate of the Jewish nation, was only 15. Is there a 15-year-old? Please, I'm not going to make you talk, I promise. I just want to use you as a visual aid. No 15-year-old? Who wants to be 15 today? Come here, you can be 15, that's all right. All right, what about David? You remember David slaying Goliath? Was he this like Rambo, like militant taekwondo doing dude, assault rifle wielding adult? Nope. He was 16. I got 3 people. Okay, we're good. We're good. 15, 16. Okay, cool. Somebody else. Another. Anybody 16? Come here, Marco. What's wrong with you? Standing there like I'm a crazy person. I mean, he don't look 16 because he's tall, but he's 16. All right, what about when Joseph was sold into slavery? Do you know how old he was? 17. A 17-year-old sold into slavery. Somebody else, come on. I need somebody to be 17. I see her poking you. Don't be shy to come up here. Nah, you see, I'll call you up. Everybody knows you, I ain't got no shame. And just so some of you will acknowledge that I am Adventist, let's see some of our old church founders, where they were at the time. Do you know what age Ellen Harmon received her first vision? She was also 17. Can I have another person want to be 17? Somebody, please. We'll stay here all day. Just somebody. Come here, girl. Come on, Jessica. She was also 17 years old. Ellen Harmon, who later on became Ellen White, and one of the prolific writers who helped found the Seventh-day Adventist Church, was only 17 years old. Do you know how old the disciples were when Jesus called them? Any guesses? Y'all talk to me, come on. 18, 20, 22. Well, you're right. They were between 18 and 22. So I need an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, 20, 21, 22. Come on up. Really? I thought it went better the first time around. And again, just to make sure you guys know I'm a Seventh-day Adventist and in good and regular standing, Uriah Smith, one of our church founders, he was 23 when he became the editor of the Adventist Review. 23-year-old, don't be shy. I know somebody in my small group is 23. Abe, come on. I'm gonna leave a girl hanging like that. I'm with you guys. Ashley, I say you hiding, so don't go too far. All right, so he was only 23. Who remembers J.N. Andrews, the first missionary of the Seventh-day Adventist Church? Do you know when his theological discoveries helped him to identify in Revelation the United States of America? He was 26. It can't be me because I'm 27, so 26-year-old, don't be shy. Somebody. Oh, there you go. Come on, you can come up. You can come up, it's okay. I understand. I'll say you're 26. We'll give you a new license, it's okay. Oh, somebody, please. You'll be 26? Okay. You'll be 26 also. And then, of course, if you were to think about Jesus himself, when did he start his formal ministry? 30. Jesus was 30 years old when he started the worldwide revolution, which we now call Christianity. A 30-year-old. Look at all the young and vibrant faces that we have here in front of you. If you take a moment and think about these individuals here, Jesus was on to something. He said, I want to grow a church, and I'm going to utilize young people, young adults, teenagers, 20-somethings, to start a revolution that will light the world on spiritual fire. You guys can sit down. Thank you, guys. See, I didn't do anything to you. But us young people, we can't do it by ourselves. We can't do it alone. Young people can't invest on young people alone. When my mom started coming to this church, don't start crying, okay? When my mom started coming to this church, I used to make fun of her all the time. And I would complain that she would spend more time at the church than with us at home. Or at least it felt that way. Little did I know that my mom was onto something. My mom had that relationship with God that was so deep and rich that all she could and wanted to do was spend more and more time in His presence. However, my mom did make a mistake, the same mistake that we all make when it comes to passing the baton to us, her children. A lot of times, as humans, not just as parents, we like to tell people how to do things and how they should be done before actually letting go. Why do you think it took me so long to start coming to the church? My mom was telling me how to do things rather than showing me. Don't cry, girl, please. In the process of passing the baton to me, she was still holding on to her end, of the baton, which inevitably was slowing me down. Now that my mom has finally let go of her end, I was able to run full speed, and look at where I am today. But my mother never left my side. Without her even realizing, she was modeling to me what it really meant to be in a relationship with God. My mother, since she got baptized, has been extremely active over the years, holding many different positions, which many of you are aware of and have told me just how amazing the retreats she planned were. Even though I continued to scold her, I continued to scold my mother over excessive involvement in the church. My mother modeled for me what God meant to her. This wasn't your typical routine of church on Sabbath and prayer meeting on Wednesdays. It went way beyond that. Church, we're living in a time where parents view religion as a social event, going to church on weekends, but then going about their business the rest of the week, as if God was never even present in their lives. It's amazing how many people claim to be followers of Christ, yet don't even know how to pray to God in an intimate way, or others have no faith that God even really hears their prayers or answers them for that matter. It's no wonder why young people stopped attending church as soon as they were old enough to refuse. Parents, it starts at home. If you don't have a close relationship with God, then how can you expect your children to? Again, just a thought. My mother modeled the way for me, even though I never expressed it to her. She was, and still continues to be, a role model to me. To those who think they are too old to continue the race, your wisdom is what we lack. Your experiences are what we need to hear. We need you all to pass us the baton, and we need you all not just to pass the baton, but to let it go. And then continue to run with us and cheer us on. And to the young people who are isolating yourselves in little bubbles, when the baton is passed, you need to grab hold of it and run with it. Take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him. Don't become so well-adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God. You'll be changed from the inside out. Take the baton that's in your hand and invest in those younger generations that come after you. Because this is how the race is won. So, church, for those of you, even though you may feel like you're 5 million years old, or you may feel like you're 2 years old, it doesn't matter. If you're alive today, you're part of this generation, and we all need to work together. Because what's happening here, only 50-something young members out of 900? That's scary. How am I supposed to find somebody to marry? There ain't no young people here. Please, we need help. And young people, I'm going to say it over and over again, it's really discouraging to me when we have events and you guys don't come out to it, and yet we still hear you guys complain that you don't have any friends. The opportunities are there. You just have to step out of your little bubble and experience it. You think I got here? I'm super shy. I don't like talking to random people. I don't. You can come up to me right now and I'll probably be really awkward. But I had to do it if I wanted to grow. And you need to do the same thing. And so, please, I strongly encourage you guys to take the baton and come out this week of prayer. It's going to be all week long. And again, it's not just for the young people. It's also for the older people, for the parents, for those of you that want to learn how to keep growing young. If you want to take a sip of that water that I drank from, come up here. Come up here and I'll pass you the baton. Come up here, don't be shy. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica's BFF now, man. If you are going through your everyday life, and you're still thirsty, the water's over here. It's waiting for you. You just have to step out of your little bubble. The church can provide endless amounts of activities for you guys to be part of. But if you don't come, if you don't take the initiative to step into an awkward situation, you're never going to be able to taste that water. I'm so sorry. The praise team is going to sing a really good song, and it really does tie into what I was saying about being thirsty. So as the praise team is singing, Mom, you an elder of this church, can you huddle up these people and pray for them?
Through the eyes of men, it seems there's so much we have lost as we look down the road where all the prodigals have walked. And one by one, the enemy has whispered lies and led them off as slaves. But we know that you are God, yours is the victory. We know there is more to come that we may not yet see. So with the faith you've given us, we'll step into the valley unafraid. Yeah, as we go. Rescue every daughter, bring us back the wayward son. And by your spirit breathe upon them, show the world that you alone can save. You alone can save. As we call out to dry